everybody. John Newman here, and thank you. I'm super duper excited for this episode of Welcome to the Machine. And guys, make sure you subscribe to us at the podcast on iTunes. And, guys, follow us on Newmanites. And we got a super duper guy tonight, a young hustler named Gallant Dill. And, one of the cool things about this podcast, about this show, is we're keeping it very real. Unlike other podcasts that are out there, we don't have the time to go back and edit this. This is just live. It's live, it's raw, and that's what's gonna make it super duper cool. So this guy, Gallant, I met this guy on a Facebook group actually, because I saw he built this Facebook group and it has, I think it's like 75,000, 80,000 members on it. It's the Entrepreneur Lifestyle Group. And then we connected, and Gallant has just an amazing story of rags to riches. He's failed. The guy was homeless at one point in time, just a straight up young hustler. Hey, Gallant, you out there, bud?
What's up, guys? How's everyone tonight?
Gallant, you and I, we spent some time last year down in Austin, and you told me your story. And first off, that condo that you live in was ridiculous. And you just have an amazing story. So can you just go back and share that story with our audience, as far back as you want to go, bud?
To be honest, I would need all night. My story's crazy. This isn't one of those, everyday stories where, average dropout creates a business. This is one of those roller coaster rides where you kind of want it to stop, but you want it to keep going. A little bit about me is I'm a high school dropout. When I was 17 years old, I started my first business on Lake Travis, where I helped people keep their docks clean and I helped maintain them. The lake was dropping, the levels were dropping, so the rich people didn't want to go down there and crank their dock and keep it on water. So I decided to do that. And so that was the first business. At 17 years old, I was making over $1,500 a week. High school dropout, guys, just an average kid, just with an idea. I believed in myself. I did something no one else wanted to do. I saw an opportunity, a disaster. From that, I decided to move downtown. Imagine being, 17 years old, moving downtown and doing that life. I'm not even 21 years old. I'm living off 6th Street. So I started creating businesses, investing in music studios. And I moved to a condo downtown on 6th Street. And before Airbnb came out, I decided to start renting out, my condo and for $1,000 a night during South by Southwest, or ACL. And I started making anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a week. I got everyone in the building, didn't really tell them what I was doing. I would say, hey man, I'll pay your rent if I can have this, your unit for the whole week. They'd be like, sure, let's do it. So I was renting it out during South by Southwest, 19 years old, doing stuff like that, making a lot of money. And remember, I don't come from a rich background. We'll get more to that. I just want to build up to, the business life that I've been involved in and things that I've done. And at 21 years old, I started an energy pill company. I could go into a lot of details on why I started it, but I'm just going to be honest. There was a big drug called Molly running around and everyone was taking it. The drug was completely fake. There was no real Molly or MDMA on the street. So I was like, why don't I create my own version of Molly, make a healthy nighttime party energy pill? And, it kind of took off from there. Within 6 months, I had over 1 million followers on all my social medias, and I was selling in stores nationwide. I was selling it on the street before to get the money, the seed money, as Molly. My friends would think that they were buying MDMA from me, and I would sell it so I could fund the business and get this product in stores. So just from 17 to 21, I was throwing music shows at nightclubs to starting energy pills, just crazy life. But it wasn't always like that. When I was 15 years old, I was sent to a lockdown facility called Excel Academy. If you look it up, there's a lot of horror stories. I had nothing, guys. Have you ever seen the movie Holes on the Disney Channel, where they send Shia LaBeouf, whatever his name is, out to a place to dig holes out in the country? That was kind of where I started. And when I came back out, I was not like any 15-year-old kid. I was ready to be grown and follow my own dreams and do my own thing. And my parents weren't supportive. They were like, this kid's crazy. He thinks he's a grown man. He's 15 years old. So I decided to start building businesses. From that time, I was kind of learning. I was taking odd in jobs, but 17 was the time that I actually ventured out and started my first business. And I'm all over the place because that was such a broad question, but my life is a roller coaster. Right now, I own half a dozen businesses. I own a company called In-Store Connection, where you get products in stores. Let's say you're on Shark Tank. You want to get into Walmart. You contact my company. We get you into Walmart. I have products selling in every store in the country right now. I'm only 25 years old. This isn't some, oh my God, he has 6 Ferraris. This is a kid who actually built businesses, ideas. I brought them to life. I failed and got myself right back up to strive for more success.
Hey, Gallant. So, and this is we hear these types of stories a lot. I mean, basically what I'm hearing is you had a desire, you had a dream, you wanted more, and you just worked your tail off. Whatever opportunity, you hustled. I mean, you were straight hustle. And where did you get that work ethic from? I mean, like why? I mean, why did you do that?
Well, I didn't have a choice. You know, when I failed, I failed. I didn't have mommy and daddy to run back to. I didn't have anyone that would have my back. So when I was failing, I'd have to get back up. At my worst, I'd have to be my strongest. When you're at zero, you know, you're hungrier. So I've always had the mentality that I'm at zero. Even though I got a Rolex on my wrist and my name on the wall, in my mind, I'm still broke. I'm going like I'm broke. As soon as you get complacent, or actually as soon as you get content is when you fail as an entrepreneur. You have to stay hungry. You have to stay hungry. You cannot let the money, you cannot let anything change you. So I've literally just brainwashed myself into believing that I have to keep going. I need more. I'm down at zero. You know, I'm living in an incredible neighborhood, and, you know, I look at it as a starter neighborhood. Most people at 50 years old move here to retire and buy their dream house. I'm over here like, this is broke. I'm doing terrible. I need to keep going. And that's the mindset. I'm my hardest critic. I'm very hard on myself, and I strive for excellence, nothing less.
And the Mall 3 company, which was, I mean, clearly you're a brilliant, there's something in you that is a brilliant branding and marketing person, because you saw a demand.
Sorry for moving around, guys. I'm sharing this into my group. I want to get people in this.
Okay. All right. So his Facebook group has what, like 75,000, 80,000 members?
Yeah, 75,000 members.
Wow. I think it's one of the largest entrepreneur groups on Facebook.
It's the largest.
Wow. And like, so let's go back to branding. You had all three. You saw a demand for a product, which was at that time Molly.
I was looking. There was no nighttime party, anything. Like, everyone goes and does drugs at night. So it's like, why don't I create an energy supplement just for nighttime? And I market it as a nighttime supplement. You know, instead of creating a new mousetrap, I just added on like my own niche of a mousetrap, and it worked. You know, I made the pill purple and black. People were like, oh my God, what am I taking? This is crazy. You know, people would go home and tell their friends in middle school, dude, there's this new energy supplement on the market called Mall 3. I think it's real Molly. Like, I sold that wow factor. I didn't have money. The pill wasn't that good, but I knew if I branded it, and that's all it would take. People don't care about the product. If Kim Kardashian's taking a picture with it, that's all that matters in this society. If you know, and people don't realize branding and marketing is everything if you want to be successful. If your marketing and branding is not on point, you will not be successful. When I go and create a business, I'm more focused on the marketing dollars than the actual services or the product. It's crazy.
How did you learn that? Like, where did that come from?
Trial and error. You know, before I had money, I looked at other successful people. I would be like, how does this guy have more money or everything? What's the difference between me and him? I was like, well, he has better photos than me. He has a better website than me. He looks better than me online. He posts better looking quotes or better looking statuses. And I was like, well, really, he's not much better than me. He just has a better brand. If I could match his brand, then I can probably be on that level. People don't realize that whenever you start a business, you know, if you look like $1 million service, you're going to get the respect of $1 million service provider. If you look cheap, you're going to get the respect of someone who looks cheap. Your branding, your image is key to success, guys. Like, online, I look like I'm a business CEO, but in person, I look like I just left prison. Online is key. Like, so many people are worried about looking good in real life. Dude, no one cares. Online, more people are watching and following you. Not every person on your Facebook page is going to see you in real life. So if you could do one thing and get one thing out of this, clean up your online image and branding. Don't be sharing stuff about Donald Trump. Do not share someone's dog barking in the yard that's cute. Post something that's going to get you traction, that's going to get you customers or get eyeballs on you. You are the star of your movie. Stop sharing other people. Stop following others. Become the star of your movie.
So, you know, it's interesting. One of my first career, let's just say out of college, I was a stockbroker. My sales manager had this saying, and it was act as if. You need to act as if you're a $1 million producer, even though you don't even own but one suit. You know, act as if. And I think that's what you're saying.
I completely agree. Like, I remember the first time I bought my suit to go to a business meeting, I had to call my friend and borrow $40. I bought it from the mall. This thing had strings hanging from it. I walked in that meeting like I was the Wolf of Wall Street. In my mind, I tricked myself to be a billionaire. Before I ever had a dollar, I talked just like I talk now. People would think that I was the most successful person when really I didn't have much to bring. But in my mind and my brand and the person that I created, it was a millionaire. It was a successful business person. If you've ever seen the movie The Great Gatsby, he had to recreate himself to play that image, become the person he wanted to become. In life, you have to keep recreating yourself. You cannot be consistent. Every one of your mentors, like Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, they've all recreated themselves. You know, at one time they might have just been all about putting information out there. The next day they're showing off their cars, being Mr. Cool. They have to do that to stay relevant. So never be consistent. Always recreate and match your target. You know, don't be looking like Mr. Cool if you're trying to sell to CEOs and, you know, business executives. You got to clean it up. You got to recreate yourself to be successful.
Yeah, and I think you see businesses do that. I think Facebook is a perfect example of a business that is recreating itself. And then you look at Twitter. Twitter did not recreate itself.
And they failed, and they're done. Twitter, it's like everyone's, oh, there's still a lot of users. No one gets on Twitter that much anymore. You get on there for what, 5 minutes, and then you're gone. Facebook, there's always something new. Every time I check Facebook, it's recreating itself. But at the same time, you can recreate yourself too much to where you lose your substance, to where people are like, okay, what is the point? Like, there's too much. So do not go over the edge with it. Make sure that you stay on track with your targeted audience. So Facebook's doing a great job, but I feel like if they keep going, they might do a little too much.
Okay.
Because not all users know how to use all the features, you know, and a lot of people, especially older people, they want something simple to check on their kids. They don't care about who's live streaming. They want to see what their grandkids are up. So don't lose your audience because you're trying to just be the first to market or copy everyone else. Keep your unique originality and you'll be just fine. You see like these burger joints like Burger King. I don't know how their stock is, but they have to add all these new menu items to keep them relevant because they've kind of lost who they are. Their burgers suck. Focus on what you're trying to really sell. Become an expert, become the best at that, and then you can recreate from there, but focus on who you are, who you're trying to sell. That should be the main point of, you know, how you're doing business and how you're branding yourself.
Gallant, I mean, you're 25 years old. I'm 35. I'm 44, but you sound a lot older than 25 years old. Is that the school of hard knocks? I mean, is that just?
Well, the truth is this, you know, age is just a number. If you want to believe you're 25, you want to go get effed up with your friends, go and drink, that's fine. I am like a 56-year-old man trapped in this 25-year-old kid trying to be something. I don't ever look at my age. People in this neighborhood look like I sell drugs because they're like, how is this kid living here? I don't ever see him go to work. And it's because I didn't think like everyone else. I've never had that mentality that you have to be a certain age before you can have this type of success. I said, I'm going to go for it all. I want it all today, not 10 years, not when I'm 40. I want it now. Tomorrow's not promised. I'm going to go get it right now. And that's the mentality I've had. And I realized if you want to be successful, like I was saying earlier, you have to recreate yourself. So I would look in the mirror at the people I look up to or the people I want to be. And if they talked a certain way, I would need to learn to brand and talk the same way they did. I talked like a thug. I have Al Capone's face tattooed on my forearm. I didn't always talk this clearly. I wanted to be the person I was destined to be. I didn't let age or anything stop me. If I'm not good at something, I got better. I practiced every single day. While 25-year-olds are getting drunk, Gallant Dill's practicing sending emails to see which one's going to convert better.
And Gallant, you know, you and I have become, you know, somewhat close, and that's real with you because I spent time with you and Chelsea down in Austin. You're not going out. You're not going out to parties. You're not going out and doing that club scene thing. On weekends,
I'm not trying to go to the club. I'm trying to own it. And if you got that mentality where you're trying to go experience something, you're not going to get that far. You know, I remember being 21, popping bottles, looking around, being like, you know what? I'm broke. I got a roommate at home. Why I'm out here partying and acting like I see these guys in the nicest clothes, but they go home to a ghetto apartment. They leave the club in a 1998 Toyota Celtic or whatever. And I'm just like, that's not me. When I come back to the club, when you see me at the club, I'm either there getting a check or I own the place. That's the mentality I have. I don't like to just go and give my time. Your time is the most valuable thing you have. So make sure you're getting the most out of it. And going out, hanging out with friends that aren't going to be around in 6 months, that's how you blow your opportunities and chances. I stay home, get my rest, get prepared for the next week. But I've had my fun. It's done. I'm focused on changing the world and setting up my kids as kids. Not like, hey, grandson, when I was 25, I had 3 bottles at the club. Like, no one cares. You know what's cooler? When I was 25, I had 5 businesses and I bought my first Rolex cash. That's a better story.
All right. How did you told the story about how you went to this, and I don't know if it was a jail or a youth facility or I don't know what that is. What was that like? Like, what did you learn from that? Not what was it like?
So check this out, guys. This is crazy. This is like, I don't really talk about this much because it's a lot. It's a lot for me. Well, when I was 14 years old, I moved in with my mom. I didn't really, had never really lived with her, didn't really know her. She had lived in Oregon my entire life, and she decided to send me to a boarding school because I wasn't passing school. I was just a 14-year-old kid, more focused on girls and texting. So there's this boarding school close by that had all these great reviews, and it was called Excel Academy. And I got sent there, but what's crazy about this is it's one of those nightmares where it was all a front. It ends up being this abusive, crazy place where people are, killing themselves, just craziness. So at 14 years old, getting to experience this, I was on my own. You can't call your mom. You can't write a letter. People listen to your calls. I was screwed. I had to grow up quickly. And from that moment in my life, I said, nobody's going to be there for Gallant. All my friends, my parents, family, I'm here on my own. And it made me realize that's going to be the rest of my life. If I ever want to take my life to the next level, it's going to be up to me, because only Gallant's going to save my ass in this place. And so when I got out, I had that mentality. My parents are like, go to school. I'm like, I'm not going to school like everyone else. I'm going to focus on what I want to do, because what I want to do is going to keep me alive and give me where I want to be. And so, I just couldn't ever adapt back into society. If you got sent to live in Iraq for like 6 months at 14 years old, and you came back to where all your friends are skateboarding, texting, playing Xbox, where you just been in hell for 6 months, you're not going to really adapt. You're going to kind of go down your own path. And from that point on, I had not a lot of trust for people. So I went down the path that I thought would be best. And like I said, by 17 years old, I was the one in a, convertible Mercedes, self-made. My parents, the guidance counselor, everyone said I would be dead or in jail. And, I come back winning. And, that's people are like, what do you credit your success on? I said, doing what others didn't do. All my friends went to high school with me. If any of you guys are on this live stream, I apologize, but no one ever is in this neighborhood. No one's ever at the high rises I have. It's because they're all on the same brain. You're all on the same page. You want to switch your page up. Stop doing what everyone else is doing. Take risks, take chances. Like I meet so many college kids. They're like, Gallant, it's risky to start a business. I said, well, you're broke and you're investing all your time into something that's not even paying you. How is starting a business more risky than what you're doing? You're going into debt for a piece of paper that doesn't even guarantee you a job. It gets you a better chance. Start a business. Who are you going to hire? The kid that just got out of college with no business experience, or the kid who started 3 businesses and failed but knows what the hell he's doing? They're going to hire the guy with experience every single time.
Wow. Hey, Gallant, we have a question from one of our audience members, and it's Luke Macris out there. And his question is somewhat interesting, and I'll just read it to you. What do you think you missed out on by not going to college? Hold on. What do you think you missed out on by not going to college that would have been nice to experience or might have been valuable? So do you look back and say, okay, if I went, like, I missed out on something? Or
to be honest with you, I sold the drugs to all the college kids. I had all the connections. If you look back on my timeline 5 years ago, I was with UT football players hanging out with everyone. So I was worried that by not going to college, I wouldn't have those connections or know those people. So by partying and hanging out and being the supplier, I got to meet everyone. The difference was I wasn't putting myself into debt. I had all the money, and I was the one getting to invest in my businesses. But do I think I missed out? Honestly, the only thing I missed out on was probably making my mom proud. She is very, traditional. So college is like her thing. Like, she doesn't care that I make $50,000 to $100,000 a month. Without a college degree, in her eyes, I'll never be successful. But to be honest, I don't think I missed out on anything. All my friends are now graduated. I'm 25. They are graduated. I'm a millionaire. Guys, like, I've made it. Like, I have it all in my life. They're just getting started. They're getting their first apartment without their mom's cosign. They're taking that $3,500 a month job. I make that almost every day. So you got to understand is that I feel like I was a game of, I don't know what that game is, where I think it's like Chutes and Ladders. I feel like I just climbed up and they were just going backwards. They're getting out of school, getting a job in debt. I own the company they're working for. So, I'm not here to be cocky, guys. I'm not hating on college. I believe in it. But by the time my friends graduated, I was on to my 10th business. Like, I was like, people are paying me for business advice while you have a bachelor's degree. It's just crazy. My friends are getting 15 to 25 an hour. If you go to my site, I charge 450 an hour. So do I think I miss anything? Absolutely not. And if I want to go back to college, I still can. And I'll blend in. The difference is I'll pull up in my Maserati versus just pulling up in the rented Honda.
So here's an interesting question, because I do a lot of work with a lot of young people across the country, and I get the question all the time, and you have a son. So would you send him to college?
To be honest with you, My son is a lot like me. He's terrible at school, but he's smarter than the kids there. And I would love for him to go to college, but at the same time, there's no need. I'd rather him start the business. You know, his family is, you know, have a lot going for them. So he's set. He's probably more set than me, to be honest. But at the same time, I'd love him to go to experience it. But at the same time, you know, starting a business and getting to see your name on the wall, seeing your name in magazines. And I don't know, I really, it'd be up to him. It'd be his call. If that was his journey, I would push him. You know, I'm not here to tell him what to do. You know, I'm here to help guide him and give him the best guidance I can along the way. But it's really up to him. If he wanted to, I'd support it 110%. I'm not here to bash anyone's journey. I'm just telling you that you can go down any path you want, and you don't have to, you know, things are going to not work out in your way, but the people that are successful just get back up again. That's all it is. Like, people are so scared. Guys, listen, I'm a mentor. People call me and have these excuses in their mind of what's stopping them. I'm like, bro, you're literally creating barriers on some shit you've never even started yet. You're finding problems on something that doesn't exist. So, you know, in life, you create the only barriers. Nothing is in your way but yourself. And as soon as you realize that, you'll have a lot more success.
And I think that's part of the challenge. And this is just my opinion. I have 3 kids myself. College isn't the answer. Like, if you want to go to college and that's your journey, great. But don't think
you're going to come out a millionaire. Yeah. Don't think you're going to come out with the house and retire and live the life you see in the movies. These people in my neighborhood bought that dream. They finally got here at 55 years old. They're miserable. They're walking around with canes. They have a chip on their shoulder. They bought that dream. And then they realized, I did all this for this decent house so I can have a little more free time. My health is crap. I'm unhappy. My kids do drugs. Like, don't buy that dream. These guys did, and they're not happy. I'm already ready to get out. I'm like, man, I don't want to be around this dream. They're looking at me weird, like I said, because I'm not waking up at 8 o'clock to go into some place I hate. I'm following my own dreams, doing what I want to do.
And I think that's the key right there. And I think that's what you said for your son is follow your passion. Whatever that is, make sure you go all in on whatever your passion is, and then hustle your tail off, which is what you did. I mean, you worked even today, like, and I think some people think that, like, you get to some level of success and you've arrived. Like, you
never arrived. Dude, and it's crazy. I always say, man, once I got a million in the bank account, or once I got this car, or once I got this house, I've made it. It's always different. Once you get there, your perspectives change. And that was where I messed up along the way, is that I thought, like, you know, once I got here, I'd be happy. You'll never be happy with that mentality. You have to be happy along the journey. You have to enjoy the entire process, or you'll never find happiness. And I thought for the longest time, once I have a certain amount, once I live in this high rise, once I have this house, once I have my life like this, I'll be happy. It wasn't true. I realized the entire journey is where I have happiness, and that's what really counts every single day. You might not be where you want to be right now in your life. Who cares? Be thankful for what you do have, not what you don't have. Think of it like this. You're a blind man. You would give any amount of money just to see. If you're dying, you'd give everything you have just to live longer. Yeah. Right now, you're not dying. You see. Be appreciative for your blessings. Enjoy the journey. Don't rush the process first, so you won't appreciate the destination. And a lot of us are just so focused on gotta go. I want that too, but every day I'm trying to do the most I can, and I appreciate every second of life. And that's something that I really want the viewers to understand, is to enjoy every second. Tomorrow, it might all be gone. You know, the life I live, I might get sued. Something bad might happen. It could all be gone. But the whole time you're like, I want the next thing. I want the next thing. You never got to actually stand still and look at what you did accumulate. So you might have an apartment, you might have a shitty car. Who cares? That car could blow up tomorrow. And would you rather have that shitty car or no car? Exactly. Look at what you do have, not what you don't have. And if you want something and you want to gain more in your life, go and get it. Go and get it. But at the same time, enjoy what you have while you're going to get it.
Hey, Gallant, we have another question, and I think this is a big one for people. And I'll give my opinion on this, but what's your biggest motivator to accomplish all that you have accomplished at such a young age? So what motivates you? What drives you? What makes you grind every day?
I've asked myself that question so many times. Like, it's crazy. I really don't even know. I just feel like proving people wrong. Just being all that I possibly can be. You know, you have one shot at life. Why not make the most? Why not be the best? Why not strive for greatness? The last thing I want to do is be 40 years old and look back at my life and say, man, I really just pissed away my days. You know, I want to look back at 40 and be like, you know, I have 30 books to write because I've done so much. You know, we all have the same 24 hours. And when I see other people with more success than me, it motivates me because I want to get it too. I want to join them. The first time I got around 100 millionaire, the guy wasn't even that smart. I was like, if this guy can make hundreds of millions of dollars, why can't I make one? So I've been around people, every night, to be honest with you guys, every night for at least an hour to 2 hours, I look at the things I want. I know that's kind of materialistic, but it motivates me because I keep a clear goal. I keep a clear vision of where I'm trying to go every night. I'm looking at houses on the ocean, bigger and better cars, better life for my family, a house for them. I have these dreams and I keep them in front of me every night to remind myself why I'm sacrificing my time to do this. So my biggest motivator would just be the best that I possibly can be and not wasting the opportunity that my parents, even though I didn't really have too much support, my parents still busted their ass. And instead of throwing me to an orphanage, they still raised me. And I'm not going to let that go for granted. I'm going to be the best that I can be. And I think everyone that's watching this should be the same way.
Yeah. And I think that's 100% it, Gallant, is I owe it to my family. I owe it to my friends. I owe it to, in my world, I owe it to God to wake up every day and be the best version that I can possibly be. Because
I'm only in competition with myself. Someone tries to compare me to someone else. I'm not even focused on them. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. I'm trying to accomplish more. I'm trying to be in better health. I'm always in competition with myself. And if you're focused on what everyone else is doing, how are you going to focus on your journey and where you're going to go? You're not. You got too much energy into something else that's not making you money, that's not pushing you forward. Put all your energy into you and your circle, your people, your business, your life. Who cares what others are doing? People are like, Gallant, why don't you Snapchat or Instagram more? I don't care what y'all are doing on Snapchat. And you shouldn't care what I'm doing. You should be focusing on doing everything you want to be doing. Like, I don't know how people get their life sucked into these devices. What are you getting from watching your friend smoking on a Snapchat or listening to music? So now your friend Jessica, she's over here listening to music. That does nothing for your life. Stop doing stuff that isn't pushing you forward or making you money. If you want to be rich, do something that pushes you forward or makes you money. It's that simple. Write that down. I said it 3 times.
Wow. I think that is pretty brilliant. We all have 24 hours a day. Where are you spending your time? And check yourself. If you don't have what you want, just where are you spending your time? And the answers will be right in front of you. Are you at home watching, whatever TV?
Netflix isn't getting you a check. Football's not getting you a check. Going to your show and listening to a band who doesn't even know who you are isn't going to get you this house, isn't going to get your name on the wall. Stop doing stuff that isn't going to get your name on the wall. And, some of you are like, I'm not even about that. Then find something you're about and do something to get you to where you're about. Okay? Stop making excuses. Stop saying, oh, he's lucky. Like he just said, we have the same 24 hours. You're looking at a high school dropout covered in tattoos who lives in a gated community, which the neighbors hate me because they're like, this kid probably sells drugs. I've done it. There wasn't rocket science. I just got back up and I stayed focused. I put down the video games. I put down the bottle. I put down the pipe, and I focused on getting my life to the next level. And right now, everything I do is either leveling me up or, helping me enjoy my life. Nothing I'm doing is going to push me down or waste my time. Your time is the most valuable asset you have. So don't spend it watching Netflix. When you retire on your island, then you can do that. But right now, Netflix is going to feed your kids or get them the shoes they want for Christmas.
So Gallant, if someone out there, and this is a question from Jamal Gibbs, his question is, where would you recommend starting out if you want to make changes in your life and start building a business?
Look at your friends. Look at what they talk about. I remember I was on the phone with my friends before I started getting really serious about success. They're talking about girls. They're talking about going out, partying, going to Vegas. And I said, you know what? I need to be on phone calls talking about millions, talking about houses in the hills. All this other shit is not doing anything for my life. It's bringing me down. So look at the people you're surrounding yourself with. Make sure your circle's cleaned up. Make sure you're around people that are inspiring you, not firing you, not getting you on a lower level. Make sure these people are pulling you up. So that's the first thing I would do. And like he said, make a list of the things you're doing out throughout the day that aren't benefiting you and get rid of them. Start learning. The more you learn, the more you earn. Like I remember I put down the video games, the drinking, and I literally locked myself up on this crummy laptop and watched every YouTube video or every article I can find on social media marketing. And that's how I learned how to market my business because I had no money. I had no money to compete with Red Bull. So I had to try new tactics. I had to discover new things. So if I was in your situation, I would clean up my circle, clean up the things I'm spending my time on, find what I'm going to do it for. And the first thing I would do is I would write down everything I'm good at. So I'd create my business around the stuff that I've experienced in or the stuff that I'm good at. There's no reason for you to go create a business on something you don't know. Find something that you already know so you can accelerate that much faster. So many people just jump on stuff and they don't know what they're doing. You're wasting your time. When I lost everything, I lost my energy pill company. before I gave up, I said, shit, what do I know? What do I know that I can sell to businesses that they need? And that's what I went off and did. I knew how to get products in stores, and I knew how to grow a following. So I would offer those services to products-based companies. Within 60 days, I was making over $20,000 a month. I went from like, Chelsea, we're selling the Lexus, to baby, we're going to go buy a new TV and go play golf today. And it's because I took what I already knew and I found people who didn't know what I knew, and I sold that. It's not rocket science. All success is a numbers game. There's two other keys to that. Find a solution, find your audience, and then from there, it's a numbers game. Solution, audience, numbers game. That's it. Find that solution. Quit trying to be the next Mark Zuckerberg. Find an already existing problem and be the solver.
So Gallant, in your opinion, because for the viewers out there, what you've said, if you're a student of success, we hear the same things over and over. So there are patterns for success and getting what you want out of life. Why do you think so few people do it?
Because they're scared. Everyone around them is telling them they can't do it. Don't believe in yourself. That's impossible. You're crazy. They're too influenced by what others think. I would tell people, I'm going to live in this house. I'm going to have my name on the wall. They said, Gallant, you're crazy, dude. You're a high school dropout. You have charges on your record. Nobody's going to want to work with you. But I ignored that. I said, you know what? My life sucks. I want to have it all. So I have nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, I'm back to where I'm at right now. That's the number one thing that stops people is the self-doubt. Those barriers that they've told themselves, okay, I'm not hot enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have a degree. I don't have money. My parents aren't going to help me. My bills are coming up. Those things are all created by you. We have these safety barriers. You got to start removing some of those if you want to float to the top. These type of things are drowning you in your success and your development. You need to cut off those mental blocks and you need to just let go. It's crazy. Every time I pull up to the holidays at a family reunion, I'm in a new car. But 4 or 5 years ago, they were like, this kid has no hope. Don't even let him in the door. But I got rid of that. I said, listen, if Mark Cuban can make $10 billion or this lady can win the lottery twice in 2 years, why can't I make some damn money? I can. And I called, hello, no. And then I got my first yes. And I realized, if I got to make 10,000 calls to get a yes, I'm going to make 100,000 calls so I can close 10 deals. Let's go. That's the mentality you have to have. Everything in your life that isn't pushing you forward or lifting you up, you got to get rid of it because it's pushing you down. It might be your parents. It might be people. It might be some of the hobbies, but you have to get away from that. You have to focus on things that are going to push you up and take your life to the next level.
Hey, Gallant, let's talk about like the tattoos, because I imagine that at some point in time you get out of the school and you have these tattoos. Like nobody wants, I'm sure
nobody wants to hire the kid who look, like I said, it's everywhere, guys. Like this isn't Mr. like, oh, I'm going to go get tattoos. I got money. This is like hustler tattoo shit. Like people were scared of me. To be honest with you, my mom one time did not want to go out to eat with me unless I had a long sleeve shirt on. And I remember, this is no lie, this girl I knew was at the restaurant. She was the lady, the reception. I don't even know my restaurant positions because I'm on different levels. I'm thinking about, executive. But anyways, if anyone's on a restaurant job position right now, I love you. Keep hustling. But anyways, she's like, she saw me late that night because I went out and she's like, Gallant, like your mom was embarrassed to be with you, dude. She looked like she didn't act like she knew who you were. I didn't even think that was your mom. And, and that's just, the decisions I'd made. But the thing about me is, there's a lot of mistakes I've made. I'm not too proud of my tattoos. I'm not too proud of some of the things I've done, but I have to accept it. I'm not going to let something that happened 5 years ago stop me from today. A lot of us have had these things that have happened to them. Divorce, been fired, lost money, been screwed over, stop them from moving forward. I've been screwed over 1 million times. I've lost lots of money. I've lost my house. I've lost my son. I've lost everything at times of my life. But I don't let that stop me from today on moving forward. I don't let those memories get in the way of my energy and my momentum on where I'm trying to go.
And I think that's brilliant what you just said, Gallant, because there are so many people out there that believe that because of something in their past, that is the reason that holds them back from getting what they want in the future. And
my past is a nightmare. My past is a nightmare. It was so up and down, guys. I'd be winning one day, I'd be losing. I'd be winning, I'd be losing. Girlfriends, ex-wives. I've been married. I have kids. I'm 25 years old, guys. But I don't let that stop me. Today's a new day. It's a new start. I created my first business. And if anyone's listening, this is a true story. I was broke. The first one, this is after I blew all my money at 19, 20. At 21, when I created my energy pill company, I was on felony probation. I had to check in with my PO. I was drug tested. I had to do 20 hours a week at Goodwill. They gave me hours for days. I had no money. I had no job. I had to sell weed. And I had to go to Goodwill to do free work while answering calls from 7-Eleven interested in my product. I made it happen. And I mean, I was getting work like a horse for free at Goodwill while having to sell drugs. So my girlfriend and I, Chelsea, could eat. And it felt like the world was on my shoulders almost every night. There's many nights I cried myself to sleep because it was so damn hard. But I had a bigger picture. I wasn't focused on what was happening now. I'd be on Craigslist looking at a $10 million house. I'd have $35 in my bank account because I was focused. I didn't care about what had happened. I didn't care if, if I'm in jail, whatever. I'm focusing on this. And that's what kept me going. I remember, this is a true story. If you're listening to this, the manager at Goodwill was like, Gallant, you're a hard worker. You need to come work for us. And I said to him, no offense, I'm creating a business. And I pissed him off. So what he did, he got jealous. He decided to call my probation officer and make up a rumor so I couldn't come back to Goodwill. So what I had to do, this is at the end of my sentence of probation, Chelsea and I had to drive an hour and a half to the other Goodwill across town so I could finish my hours. We had no money. Chelsea would literally sit in her car for the 5 hours I'd be in Goodwill waiting for me to get off because we couldn't afford to drive back home and then her come back. But we were dedicated. We believed in ourselves. We knew that one day that things would be better. Her parents said, Chelsea, Gallant is a bum loser. You stay with him, we're going to take you off the will. Seriously, they'd call her every night and say, he's a loser. We're disowning you. The world was on my shoulders. I couldn't afford to pick up my son. And I did not give up. I did not have any barriers. I said, I'm going to make things right. I'm going to make things right. It's a numbers game. And it took about 18 months, but I got where I wanted to be. Most people give up.
What do our parents say now?
Dude, I for Christmas, I sent them this Entrepreneur and Life Coach of the Year magazine. What can they say? I have more money. I've done more than them. They're probably like, damn, I should have believed in myself and looked more like Gallant. Shit. People forget that I remember. I don't forget. I remember because, when they see me this year and I got the presidential Rolex on, but 4 or 5 years ago, they didn't want to give me any money to help us pay rent. Things change. But you know what? I don't care. I didn't do it for them. I did it for myself. I did it because I wanted to be the best that I could be. And I wanted my 24 hours to not go to waste because they're limited. Our time is limited and time is the most important thing you have. And so I knew if I grind and sacrifice for a couple short years, the rest of my life would be a cakewalk. And right now, guys, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
Hey, Gallant, would you say that you have a chip on your shoulder?
I do. Guys, at a time in my life, I had no friends. When I posted on Facebook, I'd get 1 like. People wanted to see me fail. Like, people were like, this kid is a loser. I told you. Can't believe you dated that loser back in high school. I had the world, I had to prove wrong. I remember when I was trying to get my license back, and the judge, I couldn't tell I was selling weed, and I was hustling. And she's like, where do you work? I said, I don't. She's like, you're a loser. She called me a loser. And was like, I'm not giving this kid his license back. Give him an extra 6 months of probation. He doesn't even have a job. He doesn't even care. When really I'm over here hustling, doing community service hours. I did it for that judge. That judge is going to see me in my Ferrari one day and be like, was that the loser? It's like, yes, it was. Thank you for that. And I do it because I do have a chip. My mom, my dad, a lot of people really thought I would fail. My dad actually kind of believed in me, but my mom thought I was lying. For the first year of my success, my mom thought I was full of shit. She's like, this kid that's probably rented. He's a lie. He's a drug. Are you selling drugs? And so I remember one day I said, Mom, come here. And I showed her my bank account. And that's when that's when everything changes, when I finally showed her numbers. My mom's a very traditional person, so the numbers is what shut her up. She was kind of like, can I have a job? Because they went to college, they did that whole thing. They're very self-made and independent, but to see me go a different route and make more money than them, they're blown away.
So it's funny, Gallant, because I've been married now for going on 18 years, it'll be 18 years in October. And if I got that wrong, Nicole, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure it's 18 years.
You forgot,
And her friends were taking bets. I didn't know this until after we were married. Her friends were taking bets about how long the marriage would last because I was a loser. Now, the funny thing is some of those friends have been married and since divorced, and we're still married. So, yeah, you got to clear out the noise.
Everyone hated. When I met Chelsea, her roommate was like, Gallant's a loser. You got to get rid of this guy. Every person was hating. Chelsea was getting messages from ex-girlfriends trying to break us up. like I said, first key is success. Get away from these people that are talking, get around people that are walking. Does that make sense?
I love
Stop
that.
listening to what others believe in yourself. This is another cool story, guys. And this is crazy. Chelsea was out of my league. Like, I followed her for 8 months trying to get even a text, and the fact that I was able to, get her as my girlfriend, I was like, dude, if I can do that, then I can do anything. That's one of the motivators, was seeing myself end up with her. I was like, damn, if I can get a girl this good, I could do anything. Like, to me, that was the hardest challenge. To me, that was my greatest accomplishment. At the end of the day, all that money and stuff doesn't matter. But, the day that she let me, hang out with her and she gave me her time, that's what one of those memories of real success looks like. Success isn't just about money. It's about accomplishing those goals that you've had. And I mean, for 8 months, I was just persistent, tweeting at her, trying to holler at her on Facebook, got nothing. But if I can make that happen, anything is possible. Because that to me is like hitting the lottery twice.
So it's funny because Nicole thought that I was a jerk when we first met as well. And I'm just either I'm too smart or too stupid to ever give up on something. I don't know which one it is, but no did not mean no. No to me meant not yet. Like, keep working at it, John, maybe. And then I screwed up a lot when we first started dating. But the first night we met, I told her I was going to marry her, and she thought I was just had too much to drink. Did you know when you first started dating Chelsea that was it? Like, was it?
Hands down. Like, I looked at Chelsea and I looked at all the other girls that I've been with, and I said, Chelsea's forever. Like, come on, I ain't going to get better than this. And Chelsea, the thing that attracted me to Chelsea, and any guys or any girls listening to this, what made me want Chelsea was she was working 2 jobs. When we first got together, she had her own place. No girl at 21 years old was taking care of herself. She was living states away from her parents. She had a nice truck. She was working 2 jobs, her own place. I was like, damn, this is the type of girl you marry. This ain't the type of girl that has 6 roommates, goes out every night. This is the type of girl that has money in the bank that's getting it. And I knew with a girl like that in my life that I could focus on getting it too. I could grow too. And, the last girls I dated just wanted to party, do drugs, have fun. And I was going nowhere. So this time I was like, I'm going to find a girl that's independent so we could build our empire together. I swear to you, if you're listening to this, once you find the right person, it's that much easier. I'm not focused on going out, being alone or single. I have someone that I would do anything for in the next room. So I'm motivated to get it for us versus going out. Seriously, that's another, big motivator for me, was having the responsibility. Because to be real with you guys, when I first met Chelsea, I was selling drugs. I was a bottle popping fiend. I was one of those guys that went out. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, she might think I'm cool for the next 6 months. But a girl like this ain't going to stay with a loser. She ain't going to stay with a drug dealing, bottle popping. She wants a guy who's going to take care of her. All these guys are like, oh, you're not a trophy, or I deserve a trophy. Look at yourself, dog. Like, how are you going to go talk about this girl or think you're better than this girl when you're a bum? I woke up and I was like, I'm a bum. I got to be a man so I can take this woman and give her the life she deserves.
Wow.
And that's kind of what happened, is I knew I needed to level up so I could keep someone on a higher level.
Wow. So, gosh, I hadn't heard that story from you before, but I had a very similar story. I mean, after we were married, I had some issues with substances, and it got to the point where I thought she was going to leave, and I had to then learn to take care of myself and man up. And I think that's what you just said. You had to man up.
Had to man up, and I wanted to keep her. And like I said, if you're not doing your shit, you're not going to keep that, So I was like, man, if I could be the best and I can make more money, do all this, there's no way she'll ever leave me. And I know she's not going to leave me regardless, but I had that mentality. I wanted to give her the life she deserved. I didn't want her after work. Chelsea, works for me. I love people are like, oh, you get annoyed at each other, spending too much time together. That's not true. Chelsea and I spend a lot of time together. And that's the dream. I didn't work this hard so she could go work and hate her life. I worked this hard so she can have the best life ever. And when you're truly successful, you're not just living the life. The people around you and the people you care the most about are at the top with you, joining you. There's no reason for me to do this by myself. My family, when I win, the family's going to win. I don't hold grudges. I don't say, oh, mom, you didn't do this. I don't care. Mom, you gave me life. Dad, you gave me life. I'm going to go get it. I'm not going to expect anything from you. I'm not going to ever call you for handout. I'm going to go and get it and make the family proud. That's the mentality I have. I have a lot of friends that are like, my parents aren't helping me, or my dad's a dick. He's cut off my car. I'm just like, dude, man up. Man, if I can't pay for my house, I have a dog, a French bulldog. I can pay for Chelsea, my son, businesses, employees, bills, cars, insurance, all this, and you can't afford your rent, don't call me. I meet so many people that have excuses on why their life sucks. And it's like, dude, it's because of you. If my dropped out self can pay all these bills and you can't even pay your rent, like you're just not living up to your potential.
There you go. And I think that's brilliant. We have a question from Eric out there, and his question is, what habits do you feel got you closer to where you are today? Are there any specific habits or routines that you just naturally have or you key in on?
To be honest, the question should be, how do you maintain, or how are you consistently at the top? Getting here is easy, but maintaining it, the mental focus, the balance, not going and blowing all your money, that's the hard part. So I have to take care of myself every day. If I don't get at least 1 to 2 hours of walking in, I lose my mind. I take baths twice a day just so it feels like it sucks out all the negativity or the bad energy or the bad juju out of me. So drinking a lot of water, guys, you have to drink a lot of water. When you're drinking a lot of water, you have the mental clarity. Also, when you're sitting around, I try to pick something up, trying to learn something new. So when I go on these walks for an hour to 2 hours, I'm listening to audiobooks on sped up rates. So I'm learning and I'm getting in that cardio. I'm constantly doing something that's going to benefit tomorrow. Every day before I go to sleep, I make sure I earn my pillows. So I try to do something that's going to benefit. A lot of people do stuff just for today. I do at least one thing a day that's going to help me tomorrow that I might not see now that might pay off tomorrow. Like invest in this, buy this, or, call this person, or make the connection, or get another product in store. I do stuff that's going to benefit tomorrow. Because if I do 365 things in a year, next year I have 365 things to look forward to. So every free second I get, I try to invest that time to something that's going to pay off. I don't just sit there and now it's time to enjoy, watch, Netflix. Like I said, I'm trying to do something that's going to help out my tomorrow, because when I wake up, I'm going to be rewarded with that hard work. So I'm constantly obtaining something that I've worked for.
So would you consider yourself a lifelong student? Like, are you always either reading or listening or watching something that could feed your mind?
I honestly, to be real, there's times I go on like a learning spew. Like for 3 months, I'm trying to learn as much. Right now I'm in grind time. Like I'm not focused on learning. I'm focused on applying what I know and building something with it. There gets a time in your life where you got to get off the bench and start and play ball. And right now in my life, I'm learning to play ball more than just watching. I've let back. I let everyone have their shine. I saw everyone do their thing. It's now my time to apply what I know. You can't just keep learning. I know a lot of guys that sit around and learn, know everything, but they've never applied it, so they never get anywhere. Don't be that guy. The hustle is just as important as learning. So whenever you learn something, go and try it out. Apply it to your life so you can take your life and yourself to the next level. Right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to study right now. I'm building some big things that I think are going to be the things that take me to that Mark Zuckerberg level. But I'm not really reading. I'm more focusing on how to bring this into reality.
So it's like, you might go into a hyper-focus mode where you're trying to learn a new skill or a new technique, but then it's immediately you go out and execute.
Exactly. I'm one of those guys that learns along the way. I get a little overview and update on it, and then I kind of run with it and try it out. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I keep going. I don't let it slow down the energy. I'm like, screw it. Like I invest in shit every week. Every week I'm failing, I'm losing. But it's success is a game of baseball. You're not going to hit a home run on every swing, but you're going to hit something. That's all you have to do. You just have to hit something once. So I failed. Every time I make $1, I spent 20 to make that $1. So don't think it's, I hit the lottery every day, guys. You're going to keep failing, but you just got to get back up. All life and success is that video game. When you lose a level, try again until you keep leveling up.
I love that. So once again, where's your next level up? Like, what is that next?
Right now I'm focused on 8 figures. I've made the 7, I've made the 6, I made the 5. Now it's time to really level up. I mean, guys, I'm shooting. If you're watching this, thank God you're watching. I love you guys. Thanks for everything. And if you ever need anything, reach out to me. But anyways, I want to be great. I don't want to be that guy who sits on Facebook, does live streams in front of my car with minimal success. Like I had a successful company 10 years ago. Now I'm going to sell the course. That is not going to be Gallant Dill. I'm done selling courses. I'm done even trying to be that guy. I'm not going to say names. I want to be a Mark Zuckerberg. I want to be someone that my kids say my grandpa was this, or, or their kids or whatever. I want to build greatness. I don't want to do something that was minimal and then sell that story the rest of my life. My story has just started. Your story, if you're watching this, your story's just started. KFC, the owner, Colonel Sanders, I don't know how old he was before he created KFC, and look at that. So never think it's too late or it's too early. Start creating your story today. So right now, my next level, I want to make 8 figures. Like my goal for the next 2 years is to make 8 figures so I can pretty much retire. And I want to build something badass. And people are like, that's crazy. That's a big goal. It's not. If your goals don't scare your grandma, they're not big enough.
And you said something to me that I thought was brilliant just yesterday, Ashley. You're like, you have the ability that you can go out and do coaching or consulting. But what you said that was so brilliant was you're just trading your time for money at that point in time. So, and eventually you run out of time. So you want to create something that's much bigger so that you can spend your time with Chelsea.
Exactly. One-on-one will never give me the house I want. Working with people one-on-one will not get you that. Creating a community, having products, different things will do that. The key to success is truly making money in your sleep. If you got to wake up every day so you can make money, you won't be a billionaire. You won't have the 100 million. You have to create a system that is generating you money with or without you. And you can micromanage it, yes, but everything I've done is just super minimal. People are like, Gallant, you're crazy. You made $50,000 last week. That's a lot of money. If you have that mindset, you'll never make more. Like I write ridiculous goals on my board, and then when they come a reality, it's like, Jesus, like I thought I was shooting for the stars at that time, and now it's a real thing. I wrote my, guys, if you're listening right now, listen, I wrote my year goals like on a whiteboard. I have multiple whiteboards all over my office. And within the first 60 days, I think there was 12 goals on the board. I had knocked out 8 or 9. I had knocked out so many. Oh, my phone's going crazy. Let me turn that off. I got 2 different Macs in here. I apologize.
No problem.
Let me log off the iMac and the MacBook. And so that was the thing is I achieved so much because I'd written it down. I shot for the stars. Screw it. If I hit the moon, so what? Have big goals. Set big goals for yourself. Stop trying to be average. You know, Grant Cardone said it best. I will credit him this. He said, my biggest regret is not having big enough goals. Think big, think huge, think big. Stop putting $500 on your time. Stop thinking so small. People call me, like, say if someone didn't like my course, Gallant, can I get a refund? I'm thinking, like, the time that you're spending contemplating getting a refund, you could be getting your first client. You could be calling and making connections. Stop going backwards. I've taken huge losses. I've been involved where I could sue someone for a lot of money, but I'm not going backwards. I'm going forwards. If you want to be successful and achieve your goals, always be going forwards. Stop going backwards. If you took a loss from someone 6 months ago, forget about it. Never hang out with that person again. Keep going forward, or you're not going to be able to move at the rate you want to go. People say, Gallant, how are you so successful at 25? Because I'm moving forward. I'm not being held down by stuff that has happened to me. I forget about it. If the house burns down today, I lose everything that I have. I'm still going to go for it. It's going to suck, but you have to have the mentality if you want massive success.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. Yeah, we have another question from Travis Clark. How do you deal with a slump?
Dude, I get slumps every day, every damn day. Like my site will be down. I'll be getting sued. That's just random. But I deal with stuff every day, like all the time. And I realize that's life. There's nowhere written on paper that says you're going to have a perfect life. There will never be a slump. Everything is going to rock. Every time something bad happens, it makes me appreciate the good. It makes me understand that, you know what, I'm not invincible. You know, it grounds me. Pain is the one feeling, or the slump is the one thing that will ground you to where you're not invincible. But it makes you, whenever you're sick, you're just like, damn, I wish I was feeling better. But all those days you woke up, and you were fine, you never thought, man, thanks God I'm not sick today. You know, so I look at it as a good thing because it makes me appreciate when I'm not in a slump. You know, like I'm about to make a lot of money this week, guys, a lot of money. And I might go to Colorado for a week, and it was a hard damn week. But next week when I'm in Colorado and I'm on the mountain with the love of my life and my new French bulldog, it's going to be like, who cares? I'm here. Don't let that slump keep you from the hump. You know what I mean? But guys, that's just life. There's been a lot of shit in my life, a lot, like nightmare shit. But you know what? There's been great stuff. You know, and even if it was all nightmares, if I had that one thing that was good, I would focus on that one thing was good. This is the truth. And if you're watching this, this is the most valuable, this is one of the most secrets I don't tell many people. When my brother and I created all three, me and him were negative. If a printer didn't work, we'd call each other and say, dude, we're cursed. My dad and my brother and I thought we were so cursed that we paid a shaman to do a blessing to uncurse us. Because we were so negative. Like my phone would be dead to go make a call, and that would piss me off and ruin my entire day. And that was the wrong way of looking at life. I'm not cursed. Shit happens. That should be on the wall. That's what they should teach in school. Shit happens. Enjoy the good and appreciate the bad. But I had that mentality, John. That's crazy. Like literally my brother would sit for 30 minutes and talk about how something didn't go right that day. And we'd be like, man, we're cursed. God hates us. God hates us. And then I said, you know what? I'm done calling my brother. I'm done thinking like that. You know, my day could suck. The house can burn down. But you know what? I got water in this bottle and it's going to hydrate me. Hell yeah, my day rocks. So that's how I kind of look at my day. That's how I keep moving forward.
So, and I think for Travis, I think that kind of sums up that question. Like, get over it. Life's going to happen. You know, you didn't get any guarantees to say, oh, by the way,
if you died today and you looked back and you had 24 hours to go back and do things differently, what would you have done? There's a million things that would come to your mind. So every second I'm looking at my life, like if I died right now, would this be the thing that I want to die doing? You know, is this important enough to take my minutes away? And you'll be surprised. You'll be like, damn, like sitting on this couch, texting a friend about, you know, someone we saw from high school is a waste of your time. You know, like I said, guys, appreciate the good, appreciate the bad. Getting over a slump, get over yourself. Dude, there's slump. I could tell you right now, someone is extorting me for money, writing bad reviews, making crazy sites about me. I have to spend thousands. I could show you a screen share of my email where I'm paying my lawyer left and right to pull these fake reviews down. I don't let that slow down my momentum. It hurts because it's all lies. But you know what? That's life. When you got this kind of people viewing you, hundreds of people on your stream, you're going to have one hater try to take down your freaking castle. But that's life. So get back up and look at the good things you're about to achieve, not at what the shits that already happened to you that should be out of your mind. Focus on what you're about to do, not what has happened.
Do you believe that your past and that whatever your bottom is, do you believe that because you've been to that level, you live with no fear? I mean, do you think that that's like, okay, I've already been at this?
No, because I'm scared of the bottom. You know, you're like, you know, he's already been there. I don't want to go back. The idea of sleeping on a mattress in my brother's closet, I had a strawberry shortcake mattress. It was my little sister's. I didn't even have a bed sheet on it. We slept on the floor of his one-bedroom apartment. You know, we had a good time. I'm not going to hate on it. It was good. It was a learning experience. But hell no, I don't want to go back. When Chelsea and I go to sleep, we got one of those beds with the remotes that you can like you can literally turn it into a couch. I have a 70-inch in front of me. That's the life I want. I'm not trying to go back to, you got that box TV, got 3 channels on it, trying to watch The Simpsons because it's the only thing on. You know, I'm trying to sip bottled water every night, guys. There was a time where we had to sip out of the faucet. I'm not going back.
But do you think that having been at that place and knowing that you can still make it, do you think that that allows you to?
I think it cripples me because it makes me go all in. Sometimes I feel like I should think before I spend so much on some things. But since I know I could get it back, it kind of hurts me in the long run because I'm not frugal. I'm an impulse buyer because I'm cocky. I know shit, I'll spend 10K today, I'll make it back tomorrow. I can figure it out. And that's not the best way to think, but you know, so I think it's a good and it's kind of a disadvantage because I know I can do it again. So I kind of go all in everything I do. And sometimes it's not a good business decision. Like I'll literally get bored of this house and move tomorrow. And it was not the best decision. I'll spend $20,000 to move. And it's like, why? And it's like, yeah, why did we move here in the first place? But, you know, at the same time, just knowing I can get it back is a good thing. But like I said, I don't
want to go back. I
don't want to go back. I don't want to have to sell. When I was, and this is the thing, guys, my life before I got to here, I was a roller coaster. So there was times I had to sell everything because I made a big mistake. You know, I don't want to have to sell my watch because, you know, I invested all my money in rent's coming up. You know, so I tried to do everything in my power to keep myself from going there. But like I said, being scared to go back is the reason I'm not focused on going forward, man. When I got 50,000 in the savings or something, I think I'm poor because that's the mentality you have. Hear me out, guys. This is very important on money. Stop looking at zero like zero. If you don't ever want to go broke, pick a new number. Chelsea and I say if we ever go under 10,000 in the savings, we're a negative. We never let ourselves get to that zero. I changed zero. That's the best way to never go back to being broke or lose all the money or you'll never be behind on your bills. Stop looking at zero as zero. Look at a different number as zero, and anything under that number, you're a negative. You're in debt. And that's another way I look at it. Like if I don't have 3 to 6 months rent ready or any kind of bill I have coming up, I'm in the negative, even though truly I'm not. But that's the mindset you have to be precautious so you don't ever lose everything you have. A lot of people put that last cent on the line. It's not smart. So my zero is not your zero.
Hey, brother, I can promise you one thing. I'm going home tonight and I'm going to look on eBay for a strawberry shortcake mattress. And if I can find one of those suckers, I'm sending it to you because I want that reminder every night. First off, I want to see what a strawberry shortcake mattress looks like. Second off, I want it to remind you every day of I'm not going back to that strawberry shortcake mattress.
Nah, I want that Tempur-Pedic or that iComfort only. Like, guys, like I'm a snob when it comes to the bed. Like, to be honest, and this is something that's very important, your sleep is one of the most important things you have. So don't get cheap on your sleep. Seriously, you spend more time in your bed than you spend anywhere else. So why would you go and get the cheapest, shittiest mattress? I spend probably $300 every 60 days on pillows. I have anywhere from 4 to 6 pillows. I have the foam ones, the memory foam. I have a body pillow. It probably looks like I'm laying in bed with a pillow fort around me every night. I'm probably like, who is this guy? But trust me, your sleep is very important. If you're not getting sleep, for me, I wouldn't be successful. Sleep is a must. Hydration and sleep and exercise are a must. Or else me personally, I want to be here right now.
Yeah, I mean, because even right now, it's well, it's probably a little earlier there, but it's 9 o'clock. Like your energy level is still through the roof. And I'm pretty sure you worked all day.
Yeah, my energy level is always like this. I don't drink any caffeines. I don't drink any sugars. I just, I get up and go. I have that hunger. I have that passion, that drive. I don't have an alarm clock. That's what's cool is that I wake up when I want. But most of the time, I can't even sleep in because I'm so driven. I wake up, hear the dog bark. Okay, I'm up. Okay, I got to get this check. I got to go for this. I got to start working on this. I want to be on this magazine. I want to talk to this person. I want to do this. And next week, I want to do this. I'm going. And it's a blessing and it's a curse because it's overwhelming at times. And, it's insane. But at the same time, it gets me up. My passion, your passion should drive you, not an alarm clock. I promise you, if you don't want to get up to follow your dreams and you need someone to push you or alarm clock to do that, you're not driven enough. Yeah. You have to be addicted to success. Like I'm addicted to getting paid. Like when I get paid, I get high. Like it makes me high. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. But when I get paid, I dance around for 5 minutes. Even if it's $500, I'm like, made 530 seconds. I remember what it's like making 500 in 2 weeks working at Fazoli's when I was 15. So, you got to treat yourself too and enjoy along the journey. You don't just keep going. You got to enjoy the small things if you want to really appreciate the big,
Gallant, was there ever a moment where it's like a light bulb went off and you were like, I get it, or something clicked? Was there any like pivotal
moment?
Once
I got around that 100 million and the guy was a jackass, I was like, I can do this. And so the story on this, guys, I created an energy pill company. It tanked. The investors screwed me over, had no money. I remember staying up all night. Chelsea, I'd been on Craigslist. I was applying for jobs. Someone offered me a job. And I stayed up the entire night before saying, you know what, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to reach out to people on Craigslist, offer what I know until someone hires me. I told Chelsea I'm not going to bed. I said, Chelsea, before you wake up, if I can have someone who wants to work with me and we can get rent paid, can I work for myself? And she said, wow. Yeah. And so I stayed up all night, and about 11 o'clock the next morning, and I was going in at 2 to that job. A guy called me. We met up with him. I closed him for $1,500 a month. And from that moment there, I knew my life would change for the rest of my life. I said, if it took me one night of emailing and now I'm making $1,500 a month, I'm going to stay up the rest of this week and get that number to $8,000 a month working for myself. That was the moment of truth. I went from $200 short on rent to now $1,300 over rent, working for myself from home. And that was the moment of clarity. I said, if I can close this person, I can do it 100 more times. Let's go.
Wow. Do you remember how many phone calls or emails you had to make?
200, 300. Like, I'm surprised I wasn't flat. I mean, I went to Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, LA, Miami. I can make websites. I can help you market. I can do this. I had 5 responses. One of the guys was in Austin, met up with them, sold my soul for that $500 or $1,500 a month check. And I made it happen. And then no lie, guys, within a 30-day span of that same mentality, I was doing over $10,000 a month working from home. A kid that was broke, lost his business, about to sell his car, the one car we had, and then go pick up the shittiest car, a $3,500 car. And then within 30 to 60 days, like, let's go get a high rise. Let's go, let's think like that. It's crazy. Overnight people say, oh, success can't happen. Success doesn't take 30 years. Success happens when you're ready and you make it happen. Success does happen overnight. I see people all the time that 2 weeks ago they were broke. Now they're on Facebook with 6 Ferraris. Just kidding. But, it's really up to you. You hold the keys to whatever door you want to open. If it's the success door or the broke person door, you hold. You can literally change your mindset and start making money. Like I said, I lost my company, was broke as hell. And then all of a sudden, 30 days later, I'm making over 10,000 a month. 60 days, I'm making over 25,000 a month. It happens, but it was because it was up to me. I stopped watching those Netflix. I knew the more hands that I shook, the more money I took. That's just how it goes. Success is a numbers game. Find a solution, find that audience, and then from there, it's a numbers game. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. That's it. You don't need to take someone's 6 courses. You don't need that degree. You don't need this person. It's up to you. If you suck at selling, record your calls. If you sound like a jackass, change what made you sound like a jackass. Perfect yourself. Recreate yourself. Get better. Get practice. Dude, I would literally be in the mirror like what I'm doing now, practicing. I'd be like, okay, stuttering on this word. I need to practice. Okay, hi, I'm Gallant Dill. And you can ask Chelsea, guys. On my first cold calls, I would forget my damn name. I'd call them to sell them a website, and they'd be like, hello? And I'd be like, and hang up. And I had to practice. It wasn't like I was this way. I didn't just wake up this good at talking. It practiced. I would call somebody and leave the wrong phone number and say, call me back with the wrong cell. There was times I'd be talking to someone who could have changed my life, and I gave them the wrong number, the wrong name, or the wrong email. Spell my damn name wrong. But you know what? Practice makes perfect. Get out of your comfort zone. Join me at the top. Stop making excuses. I'm the youngest guy in this neighborhood, and I'm walking around while they're driving to work in the morning. I'm over here in coffee in my robe, tattooed up with my Frenchie pooping on their yard. And they're like, what did this dude do? His parents. No, I believed in myself. I followed my dream, and I erased that bullshit mindset that the government has instilled in all of us that says you have to wake up at 9, you have to work 40 hours a week for someone else, you have to have a degree. I erased that bullshit. I said, you know what? I'm a high school dropout. I don't have any of that going for me. I need to try something else. Look, 25 years old, guys. I'm killing it. And I'm not here to brag. I'm not here to show off. I'm here to show you that you can do it too. I'm not the smartest guy. I don't have the degrees. I'm not the best looking shit. I look like I just robbed the bank. But I believe in myself. And if you believe in yourself, this can be yours. I'm not selling hope. Don't buy my course. Don't follow me. I don't care. Believe in yourself. At the end of the day, stop listening to the people that are going. Okay, I'll give you an example. The other day, one of the guys I'm mentoring calls me. He said, my college professor said that my business is a bad idea. I said, who do you want to listen to? The 50-year-old who makes $50,000 a year, or the 25-year-old that's going to do $500,000 this year? The guy who's driving a brand new Lexus or Mercedes, or the guy who's driving a 15-year-old Honda who didn't follow his dreams? Who do you want to listen to the guy in the department who wakes up to go teach a curriculum that's out of date, or the guy who lives in a fucking mansion who wakes up to do whatever the hell he wants? And he's like, good point. Stop listening to the people that you want to trade places with. Like, geez, stop listening to somebody who lives in an apartment and has a car that sucks and is miserable. If you're going to listen to someone's advice, listen to someone you want to trade places with. When someone even close to me gives me advice, I hate to say this, friends, I'm not listening. It's going out the other ear. I'm not going to take advice from somebody I want to trade places with, because taking advice from broke people, you'll maintain and you'll stay broke. When I created my first business, I would call my friends and I'd take advice from them. They had no idea what the fuck they were saying. Pardon my French. And I would fail that business deal, or that wouldn't go through. It's because I was listening to broke people. And there's nothing wrong. Don't judge people just off financials. But if you're talking business and money, don't take advice from people that don't have money.
I think that's 100% correct. Is there anybody that has any person, or whether it's fictional, it's nonfiction, that's impacted you in a big way? Like this person has impacted me.
Honestly, The Wolf of Wall Street, when I was a broke ass loser, I would watch that movie every night. I said, one day I'm going to have that custom suit. One day I'm going to have the Rolex. One day I'm going to have that high-rise apartment. And every night I envisioned myself how it would feel to be standing at the ledge of that high-rise, which I got there, guys. I'm scared of heights. It sucked. No one knows that, but I'm scared of heights. So I got to that high-rise. I made that happen, and it wasn't as good as I imagined. But you know what? Now imagine the mansion. Okay, but anyways, the Great Gatsby. I'm a huge Leo guy. You know, I love Leonardo DiCaprio, but The Wolf of Wall Street, I watched that movie every night. Before I was a cold calling guy, I'd be watching Jordan Belfort or Leo, and I'd be like, it would motivate me. There'd be a meeting in 15 minutes. I would say, Chelsea, turn on the motivational scene from The Wolf of Wall Street so I can listen to it. And I listen to it over. I'd be on the phone like, this is Gallant mother effing Dill. Let's go. And I'd be like, this guy, sir, I was calling to let you know that you forgot your credit card bill. Oh, shit, wrong call. Yes, this is Gallant. But I literally would pump myself up. I didn't have books. I didn't know who Les Brown, Grant Cardone was when I started. I didn't know who Ty Lopez. I didn't know who Gary Vee was. I'm from the streets. I don't have Gary Vee's face. I have Al Capone's face. So, the people I look up to were, bad people that made a lot of money. I'm not going to even lie. But you know what? I changed that. I recreated myself. Do I look up to Al Capone now? Not so much. I've recreated my heroes, the people that I look up to. You got to keep recreating yourself and leveling up. If you're thinking like you were thinking when you were 23, you're going to be at the same level that you were when you're 23. Level up, it doesn't matter what age you are, but constantly level up yourself. Constantly think bigger, constantly have bigger and better goals, constantly be doing things that are going to change your life. Stop doing the same shit. People are like, yeah, what I do? I hate my life. It's been like this for 3 years. I said, stop doing everything that you're doing because it's not working. Everything. Your life sucks. If you're broke, everything you're doing, you need to start trying to do different things because it's not working. If you want change right now and you want to know where to start, stop doing what you're doing. Find something that you can do that can make money or that can take your life to the next level. Get away from the people that are pulling you down and get around some people that are going to help you float to the top. It's not rocket science. I turned off my phone, stopped going out, stopped buying drinks. All that money I was saving, I was reinvesting into fake followers on Twitter so people would take me more serious. Do what you got to do. Stop doing what's going to get you to where you don't want to be. So rocket science, guys. You don't need to read fucking 30 books from Barnes and Nobles on success. You are success. It's in you. It's up to you. Get off the bench. Stop observing. Start playing. Start playing ball. That's it.
So I'm sure I'm going to hear this when I get home from Nicole because I'm a little bit older than you. So I watched the movie Wall Street. I watched that movie so many times that I could basically replay the whole entire movie. Like I had that movie memorized, and it was about acting as if I wanted that lifestyle. I watched the movie over and over again, and I became that fictional character. Like I created my own story, and then I got a job, even though I didn't have.
Believe if you can't see yourself there, it's not going to happen. Before I could ever afford the high rise you see my pictures in, years before when that building opened, I remember going there. And they told me the price. I was like, I will never afford this. But I believed that I could. I looked at it every night. I looked at the pictures I took on my phone and said, that's going to be my home one day. I made it happen. You got to believe it. Seeing is believing it. Once you can visually, where it feels so real, you could touch it. When I was broke, my success was so real I could touch it. It became a reality. Your mind can manipulate it to get you to where you want to be. Like I said, I never thought I would ever get a girl like Chelsea, but I tricked my mind and said, I can get it. I can get me a 10. I can get me a 10. I need to stop hanging out with these threes. And it happened. So if there's something you want, break that thing down on how you're going to get it in your mind. Build out the game plan. Build out the blueprint on how you're going to achieve that goal. Like when I wanted to get my high rise, it's about $4,000 a month. I said, I need to be having at least 3 to 10 people on retainer for this amount. Right now I have this amount. This is how many calls I got to make. This is how much money I need to have. I broke down each goal and I achieved it. And within 60 days, it was ready. I had everything. But if you looked at it from afar 60 days ago, there's a long way. But I looked at it step by step at a time. I built out my staircase to get to the top. I broke down, this is the goal. I got to close this person. Tomorrow I got to make 20 calls, got to do this next week. And I just followed each step. I stopped looking at the destination. I followed the journey. And as I grew on the journey, I got to the top. And that's it. But the years when I first visited that place, I heard the price. I said, good grief, I would never pay that. But you know what? Your perspective changes. Stop saying you will never because you don't know what you'll never do. When I was poor, I saw people buying Louis Vuitton and I was like, who would buy a Rolex? It's a watch. Why would you do that? Now I love Rolex. I love Louis Vuitton. The belts are amazing. My wallet's never even worn, but so stop thinking like that. Start building out your success plan on how you're going to get to where you want to be. Realistic goals, not some stupid shit like I got to make 2 million calls. Break it down in a realistic step-by-step play and make it happen. Focus on one goal at a time. So if you want to get to this place, whatever that goal is, break it down to 8 weeks. Week 1, I'll be doing this. Week 2, I have to do this. Week 3, do this. And if it takes a couple extra weeks, whatever, you're still closer than you've ever been to that goal. Make it happen. Success is a staircase. Break down your goals and follow it each step of the way.
Gallant, one thing that you said, and I think this is just so relevant, is, and go back to the beginning, and I think Chelsea said, or you went to Chelsea and said, if I can sell one product by tomorrow. Can I stay self-employed? And you went and basically didn't.
I refused to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I emailed every single person on Craigslist that night. I mean, like, it was funny because they were like, oh, Gallant, you must be an early riser. We got this at 4:37 this morning. I didn't tell them I stayed up all night. It was a numbers game. I refused to fail. It was a video game. I turned my success into a game of Tetris. I just kept going. It was like trying to level up my character on an old game. That's what I did that entire night. I knew every email I got sent out would get closer to closing that person, so I wouldn't have to take that job and give up on my life as an entrepreneur. I'd built this awesome energy company. I lost it. This is my last chance. If I can't make this happen, I fell. It's game over. My game ends.
And there are probably quite a few salespeople that are watching this episode right now, but yet they're home. You know, they're home at 7 or 8 o'clock and they didn't hit their goal for the day. What you said.
Don't focus on that. It's already done. The day's over. Tomorrow, go and get it. Tomorrow, achieve it. You know, I got employees. I got people watching this, and they know that's how I think. I take losses every day, but the day's over. Who cares? What am I going to gain tomorrow? I'm going to hit that goal tomorrow. There's so many times where a check doesn't clear, something doesn't happen. I'm so focused on the next check, I don't give a shit about what I just lost or what happened yesterday. Dude, there's people that say they're going to pay me, they never do, and I never notice because I'm so focused on what's next and how to keep my energy and my momentum going. Stop letting stuff slow you down. If you think you're going to make $50,000 next week and you're like, I don't need to call anyone, I'm going to get a big break next week, you'll never be successful. You have to have that momentum consistently. You know, there's a lot of people that think they're having a good week and that it's going to maintain, so they kind of slow down their hustle, then they bomb the week. You have to be consistent. Yep. Like if I had 10 checks closed today, I need to have the same hustle I did on Monday so I can keep closing those checks. And that's success right there. Not letting the numbers or anything phase you, not letting the bad phase you. You have to keep going. Today's over. Go hang out with your wife, your kids. You might have took the L for today. Take the W tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's great. And there's two things that I heard there. One is went back earlier to some habits. One of your habits is every day you get up and grind. You don't rest on, you had a big week last week. It's not like, okay, well.
I was up till 2:30 yesterday and I got up at 8:30, you know, and it's because my passion drives me. You know, like you said, you got to grind, you got to hustle. You have to keep that consistent amount of energy. We all have the same 24 hours. You know, I'm in competition with myself. I'm trying to have a better day than I did yesterday. So if I have a shitty day, I'm like, whatever, tomorrow will be better. That's the mentality I have. You have to go and get it. Nothing is going to fall out of the sky and be an opportunity. Today I said that to someone. I said, bro, stop waiting. It's not going to happen. You have to go and get it. It's a game of hide and go seek, and you're it 24/7. Go and find that opportunity. It's there. It might be hiding, but it's still there. This is a game of hide and go seek, and you're it 24/7. And if anyone steals that, I'll know because I made that up just now.
And that was pretty good, actually.
And that's real success. Real success isn't scripted. This shit I say isn't in a book. I didn't read this stuff. I got on the field and played ball. You could read every book on basketball, but you could never play as good as Michael Jordan. The only way that you can keep up with Jordan is if you actually got off the bench and you played. So when people are like, you got to learn, you got to get out and play too. Like I failed my way to success. I found out what doesn't work and what does. At the time I was broke and it sucked. Now people pay me big bucks to tell them what not to do. So all those failures, I would say, God, why? I'm so broke, Chelsea, we're eating ramen again. But one day, I'm actually getting paid to tell people not to do what got me to eat that ramen. You know, what was keeping my life in that position. So you got to keep an open mind. Something might suck right now. It might make better sense later on, but you can't give up. That's life. You know, I went through hell, but all the hell experience I had in hell, I'm now writing the map on how to get out. And I'm making a fortune from it. So don't look at everything. Look at it as a lesson. Look at it as something that you're going to be able to use later on to help you that much faster get to the next level.
Yeah. And I think that's 100% right on. How did you get involved? And once again, this is coming from me. I'm 40 plus years old. How did you learn the social media game? Like, how did you?
Trial and error, dude. I was broke. I had an energy pill. I tried everything. While people were out partying, I was saying, give this product away. I would post the stats. I would log how many people liked the photo, write down what worked, what didn't. After a while, I realized if I can get a half naked girl to post a picture of my pill, I'm going to get a hell of a lot more orders than if I just hold the package. Trial and error, learning the game, logging it, making mental notes, looking at what competitors are doing, looking at what gets them the most traffic, following that trend. It's in front of you. All the success is right in front of you, but you're trying to do something else. You're trying to do something you've never tried and you don't know if it works. Look at the stuff that works and just duplicate it. I remember I wanted to be Mark Cuban. I remember I wanted to be these certain guys, and I broke down their story. I said, okay, Mark Cuban started a business at this, it failed, it did this. And that's what I did. I said, what does Mark Cuban have that I don't have? He has headshots, he has the press, he has the following. Okay, I need to get the headshots, I need to get the press, I need to get the following. Now I need to get the billion. But I'm closer than I was because I broke that down. Break down everything you're trying to do and do it and be driven towards it. Like, don't give up. The faster you get there, the faster you get to where you want to be and you're on the next level. And whenever you're there, you have to keep going or you're going to lose it. Making money is the easy part. Keeping it's the hardest.
Wow. And you're 100. There's a motivational speaker named Jim Rohn, and he said, become a millionaire, not for the money, but become for the habits that you've built along the way. Because once you've made your first million, even if you lose it, you know what to do with it the second time.
Yeah. And, everyone reads these books and shit. Like, who really cares? Like, at the end of the day, you just got to do it for you. If you felt like it was the best decision, I meet people that lose their money left and right and never get it back. It's life. You got to keep going. You got to keep trying. And like he said, if you can make it, then you can do it again. Just get the first million first. The thing is, you can lose it all again. Just know that. So always be grinding. Don't stop just because you can make it again. You always have to have that hunger. You always have to be going out there and making it happen. Like I said, let's say if I had a six pack, I have to maintain that six pack. That's how you have to maintain your success. And if you had the mentality, I'll eat this donut, and I can get it back, you'll never be able to get it back because you have that mentality. You just need to be focused on maintaining it and being consistent versus having, fuck it, I'll blow all my money tonight, I can get it back. You need to be focused on, I don't have the money. You need to have the broke man. My buddy, I don't know if he's watching, his name is Matthew Lehman. He said you have to have that beer taste, or you have to have the beer taste, not the champagne budget. A lot of people have the champagne, taste, but the beer budget. So you gotta have that poor mentality the entire time before you lose yourself, because you weren't always rich. So you're not going to know what you need to do. So you're just blowing all the money on pointless stuff. You're going to lose it. You're not going to be able to maintain it. And even for myself, that's something I'm still learning every day, is telling myself no and getting rid of that mentality. I can get it back again. We were just talking about that earlier. It's really just about being consistent, so you don't ever have to go back down. And you only take a risk if you don't understand what it is you're doing. So I don't take risks before I spend money, before I make an investment. I have to understand it completely so I don't waste my money.
And that's smart. Is there anything that scares you?
Honestly, dying and not living up to who I'm supposed to be. I'm so scared to die because, I want to be great. I want to impact the world. I don't want to be someone that's not remembered. I want to do the most that I can. And I'm not anywhere where I want to be. I'm not anywhere where I want to be. I want to get to that place. And, I'm scared of just not getting there. And every day, every hour, it's funny because Chelsea would be like, oh, you're always working, you're always doing this. But we'll drive by a house or this crazy car and she's like, I want that. And I'd be like, and that's why we're working. But, I really want to do something that's going to change the world. And until I can do that, I'm not living up to what I'm supposed to be. And so I'm scared that I won't make it to that. So I'm work 24/7. And just focus on getting to that position. It might be something wrong with me, but, I want to get there first. I want to achieve greatness, not just financial. I want to make an impact. And, I'm scared that, I won't make it to that point in my life. That's the only thing I'm scared of. Nothing else I care about. It's just getting to that point to where I can truly say I made it or I've done this, look at everything I've done. And I might never get to that place because I'm so driven. I'm so on to the next thing. Like I've said, when I've made a certain amount of money, did I stop? And I thought I would, in the past, yes, but I kept going. I said, I'm only going to buy one Rolex. I bought 3. I'm only going to have one house. I have 2. It's just, you get to that point and you never know. So I'm scared that I won't ever get to my point. That's it.
So here's an interesting question, because if you put yourself out 10 years, do you have a vision board now or?
No, I never put myself out that far.
Okay.
I don't even go 6 months. If you're thinking so long-term, you won't have it. You'll say, I still got time. I'm going to tell you guys something personal. Everyone in my close circle knows I said this. I said, If I'm not a millionaire by 25, I'm going to kill myself. That's how driven I was to success. That's how bad I wanted it, and, I'm 25, I'm where I want to be. But I was literally, I had an hourglass in my head. It said, I need to get this and it's going to be done if I don't get there. That's how driven I was. I don't think 10, 15 years out. I tell everyone I'm going to be retired by 30. That's the mentality I have right now. I'm not saying in 10 years I'm going to have this. If I want something, I'm going to get it right now. The Ferrari, Chelsea and I, we want a 4-story house. I'll go get it right now. I don't think like that. That's terrible. You're not promised tomorrow. So how the hell are you going to talk about 10 years? People change, life changes, the world changes. I never really go more than 6 months to a year out, ever.
Wow. What's if you can analyze social media, because you understand social media at a high level.
It's real life. Social media is my generation's real life. People live through social media. If you're not a rock star on Facebook, you're a loser in real life. And that's sad. We are consumed by these devices. So I've used that to turn myself into an icon, because I know that the better I look online, the more stories they see me, and the more respect I have, the more business comes my way. In person, it doesn't matter if I'm a piece of shit. If you're rocking it online, you're a god. Half the people you look up to online you've never met, and in person are probably nothing like what you think.
Wow.
Social media is your way of getting ahead and fast. Social media is the shortcut to success. Social media has made me every penny I have. Everything on me is due to social media. But there's time in life it was weed. But, in the last 5 years, social media has been that thing. So if you want to be successful, you need to learn social media. Social media and learning how to connect and build communities and get your name out there and have people coming to you, you'll be successful. The business of shaking hands, meeting people in person is dead. Guys, I'm making sometimes 50 to 100,000 a month, and I didn't talk to the person once on the phone or in person. The days of meeting each other is dying. You have to understand social media is the future. Very important. And you can't read books on social media from 5 years ago. It's something you cannot read on. Social media is something you have to get in the field and play. Because you can read on a book on Facebook groups. Facebook has changed the entire algorithm. Why I'm not growing my group any further is because it doesn't matter. Facebook's not going to let people see what I'm posting because of the algorithm. So if you're reading an old book, it's going to lead you in the wrong direction. If you want to be successful, you have to get out and play. You can't sit back and learn. When you're playing, you can kind of sit back and learn a few things, but you have to get out there and test the waters because things are changing so abruptly. So stop sitting on the bench. Join us at the top of the social media game. Get out there, try it. See what works and what doesn't. Take mental notes. Stop spending all your money trying to learn something that's already out of date.
Is there any advice that you can give to someone that's looking to, quote unquote, create their own brand? Because there are a lot of people that say, well, I don't have a brand. I can't speak like Gallant speaks. I don't have the look. I don't have the story. Those are the bullcrap excuses they're giving themselves. But what advice can you give to someone that wants to build their own brand or build their own audience? Is there any advice for that?
Honestly, clean up your image. Like I said, we were saying this in the beginning of the call. Truly, just stop posting stuff that is going to make you money or get people to respect you or to connect with you. Stop posting negative shit. Stop posting pictures of you at the club. Stop posting pictures of you looking ratchet. If you don't look like $1 million service provider, don't post it because you're looking like a $10 service provider. Well, hear me out. If you knew 2 guys on Facebook created websites, one of them had pictures of going out, politics, had a picture in jeans and a white t-shirt holding a beard. The other one posted only motivational quotes, and he was in a suit in all those pictures and looked serious. Who would you truly call first?
It's not a question.
Even though the guy in the jeans might be 100 times better, who's already on your mind? It's the guy in the suit. So clean up your image. Like as soon as I started making money, I paid $900 for my first photo shoot so people would take me more serious. What do you know? People start asking me, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing these days, bro? You look like you've been doing good. Nothing's changed. Just my photo on Facebook. Social media is life. Don't get it confused. If you look like shit on social media, it's like you having the dumpiest house on the block. You have to look good. Image sells. You want to follow Grant Cardone, take him as serious if you didn't have the high rise, the jet, the brand, the company, the image, the Rolls Royce. What made me follow Grant Cardone was I saw someone share a live stream one day and I saw this old guy talking and it had a double R behind his head. I said, this guy has a Rolls Royce. I need to listen to what he's saying because I want a Rolls Royce. Your brand is everything. Why do you think I have my name on the wall? I have my name on my wall, every wall, because it's branding. I'm believing in myself. I'm next level. Before I was anyone, I still had this in my mind. I still had this. You got to keep adapting. You got to keep adding to your brand. The better you look, the more money you're going to make. It's that simple.
Gallant, and this might be a tough question.
Personal profile, not just business. If you are not making money from social media is making money from you. Stop using social media for fun. Make money. You want to change your life? Stop using social media to be social. Who cares what your friend from high school is doing? He has a new Mercedes. You don't. Go get the Mercedes. Post about it. Make money. Stop letting it play you. Play or get played.
Wow. Do you have, and I ask this question to everybody, would you consider yourself a spiritual person? I'm not talking religion. I'm talking.
I believe what comes around goes around. I believe if you can think it, you can make it. I believe that you can do anything you set your mind to. And I'm living proof. I'm a high school dropout, a loser. Like I said, I was sleeping on a strawberry shortcake mattress in my brother's closet. Our couch was one we found by the dumpster. It had like 3 cushions missing and cats pissing in it. And look at my life now. It's because I believed it. Everyone around me didn't. They were like, this kid's on crack. We need to send this guy to a psychiatric hospital because he's a psycho. You control your destiny. Right now in life, you're holding keys. The keys is your time and your ability. And you decide where you ever want that key to go. The Honda, the Ferrari, the apartment, the mansion, it's up to you. I'm a spiritual person. I believe anything you set your mind to, you can achieve if you truly believe. That's it. I don't care who you are, what your past is, what color you are, where you're from, how shitty you talk, how bad your breath smells. It's up to you. Nothing else. That's all spirit. And what comes around goes around. If you just do a lot of bad shit's going to follow you. And that's something that's happened to me. I call it the karma. We talked about that earlier. But you got to do good and good things will happen. The more I give, the more I receive. It's crazy. It's true. It happens every day.
All right, Gallant. So here's the $1 million question, bud. And,
I'll be invoicing you for this hour and a half. Everyone watching, send me in PayPal. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not here to make money. Don't go and buy my course. Don't go and join my seminar. Believe in yourself. I don't really give a shit, about selling books or, who has the most Ferraris in the garage. I want to see you have one. I don't get motivated by me. When I see young kids getting it, winning, living in the high rise too, that shit inspires me.
Yeah.
I like to see others win. True leaders don't have to show off what they have. They can show off what the other people watching them have.
I think that, and I'm the same way. Like, I get more energy out of seeing other people succeed than myself. It's not about me. It's about seeing everybody else succeed.
I love seeing real competition. I love seeing others getting it. It motivates me. Sometimes I feel it's lonely at the top. Join me, damn it.
I love that. All right, Gallant. One last question. And you talked about multiple times about the journey. So part of this podcast, the show, is the journey towards fulfillment. What does fulfillment mean to you?
I've never been fulfilled, to be honest. Fulfillment is when you get to that point where you pretty much have everything and it's working for itself. Fulfillment to me is this $10 million house on Fargallon Drive in Austin. Fulfillment is when my family's set. Fulfillment is when everything is where it needs to be, which I don't think I'll ever have fulfillment because I'm too driven. But I would say it's when everything is going the way it needs to be going. And someone like me, I'm too all over the place. I don't think that's possible. But for you, fulfillment needs to be your appreciation. You're finally where it's such a broad question because there's so many answers. But, like I said, when I imagine myself in that high rise, when I was poor, like the Great Gatsby or the Wolf of Wall Street, when I finally got there and I looked over the edge and I said, I'm here, I did it, that was fulfillment for me in some ways because it was such a pipe dream 3 years ago.
Right.
Living in a place like that was a wet dream. If anyone's watching a part of my French, it was like you're living, pretty bad. And to be in a high rise overlooking the entire city where everyone doubted you and now you're above everyone. That was some fulfillment for me. And also, like I said, being in a position to help my family and my friends and the people around me with their life and help them get everything together. That's another thing. Like seeing, I'm not going to go into details because it's private, but, being able to help out my family and financially in different ways it feels a lot better than, buying that Rolex. I'll never forget, giving. When I give, I feel a lot better than when I receive. Helping others, you're a true leader. Spending it all on yourself, you're Cool. No one's going to remember you. I'd rather be remembered of making that impact. I might have it all. I want others to know that I'm giving it all too. So, that's fulfillment for me.
Yeah. And I think you said it. I mean, it's not a destination, it's a journey, because when you think it's a destination, you get to that destination, you're like, okay, there's still more to my story. So it never really ends. You never arrive at fulfillment. It's a journey of life and being the best version of yourself every single day.
Exactly. That's all it is, guys. Recreating and becoming a better you. You're only in competition with yourself. The only person or only thing in your way is yourself. Nothing else. Not your background, your degree, your parents' money. It's you. Everything else you need to erase in your life. You need to get it out of your mind and just go for it.
Hey,
the sooner you go for it, the sooner you get there. This was a pipe dream. Growing up in this neighborhood I live in, my parents wanted to live in this neighborhood. The taxes were too high. Now it's a starter home for me. That's the mindset I have. You have to have that mindset. Like I said, if your goals do not scare your grandma, you're not thinking big enough. Believe in yourself. If a lady can win a lottery twice in 2 years, you can go and make $1 million. If Bill Gates can have 40, 50, 60 billion dollars, you can too. He's not some sort of alien. He just created a solution, found an audience, and it was a numbers game. That's all it is. Stop putting people on a higher level than you. They're not. They just believe in themselves a little bit more, or believe in an idea a little bit more, are more driven for it. Match their drive, match their ambition. If you fell, pick yourself up. We all fell. We all fall. Every person, someone says they've never fell, they're lying. Nobody is perfect. Stop taking it out on yourself. Get back up. Keep going. Stop letting things slow you down and go and get what you want. You have one shot at life. Don't be that person that says, what if? Be that person that says, well, damn. I did it.
And then
I did it.
And then the mic drops. Hey, Gallant, I appreciate you for giving your time and for doing this, because you're not paid for this. You're putting yourself out there to just freely give back what you've learned along your journey towards fulfillment. So thank you very much for doing this. How can anybody find you? How can people
GallantDillMentoring.com, the entrepreneur lifestyle group, Gallant Dill Facebook business page. I respond. I'm not that guy you can message and I'm too cool to respond. If it's not like, hey, Gallant, I need $10,000 or something lame. If it's a good question, not one of those like, Gallant, what color looks better on my logo, I'll respond. I don't think I'm better than anyone watching this. And I think that you guys have just as much potential, if not more than myself. I'm here to help. And, at the end of the day, that's what life's about, is, growing and helping others grow. You're not just this one plant. You want others to grow with you. It's much better that way.
Yeah, it's much more fun.
So GallantDillMentoring.com, Gallant Dill, the Facebook page, Gallant Dill, the business page, the entrepreneur lifestyle group. You can email me at gallant@instoreconnection.com or gallantbc.com or gallant@surgeonpr.com. There's a million ways to find me, guys. And at the end of the day, focus on getting to where you want to be. Stop watching Netflix. Stop being around people that don't believe in you. If they're not pushing you up, they're pulling you down. Get around people that are winning. If you hang out with trash, you're going to smell like it. Get around some people that are winning and smell like money. You're going to smell like it too. I'll see you guys at the top.
Gallant, you're awesome, bro. Thank you very much again. And everybody out there, welcome to the machine. This is Gallant Dill, and we're going to wrap it up. If you didn't catch this episode, it'll be on iTunes tomorrow and YouTube. So, hey, Gallant, have a great evening. I can't wait to see you guys in a couple of weeks.
All right, man. I'll see you guys at the top. I love you. And like I said, believe in yourself. I'll see you guys there.
Bye, guys.